If I were moving to Miami in 2026, I would be very intentional because Miami is not one market. The same budget could buy you a completely different life depending on the neighborhood. And in 2026, the bigger risk is not just overpaying, it's buying the wrong kind of monthly cost and the wrong kind of exposure, especially with condos, insurance, and flood zones. When you look at Miami the right way, a clear decision map shows up. And in this video, I'm going to be breaking down where I would personally live and what you're really paying for in each area, which neighborhoods match different seasons of life, and what I'm watching heading into 2026 so you avoid the mistakes that I see every week. I'm Milton Andrade, and I help buyers and sellers navigate Miami neighborhood by neighborhood with a calm, risk-aware approach so you understand the trade-offs before you commit. Let me start with where I would personally live if I were moving here in 2026. And more importantly, the filters that I would use to decide. The filter is really important. Instead of listing neighborhoods, let's start with what kind of lifestyle do you want? Because Miami is a lifestyle decision before it's a real estate decision. So you have to ask yourself, am I trying to live in an urban core that's walkable? Or do I want a tree-lined street that's residential and suburban? Is it a waterfront condo lifestyle that I'm looking for? Or am I buying Miami completely for tax strategy? Or is it for daily enjoyment? So let's think about this. What does my commute look like? Am I working here but living here? Also, the flood map reality is very address specific. Insurance is not theoretical anymore. Condo documents also are not optional reading in 2026. And airport access and daily traffic matter more than people admit. So if I live over here and I work over here, I need to know what that tolerance I have for a commute. Because if I can only pick one area for long-term livability and low regret, then I'm choosing it based on logistics first and lifestyle second. The commute matters more than people admit. Personally, I don't mind traffic. I know how to walk around it, to work around it, to drive around it, to use Waze, navigate, and plan my day. But not everybody does. And where do I want to spend my days? Where do I want to spend my weekends? If I live on the water, am I using the water? Will I drive, or do I prefer to walk everywhere? It's really important that you ask yourself these questions so that you can make a real decision based on your lifestyle. So, if I were a young professional or a remote worker, let's say, in my 20s or 30s, building career momentum and working remotely or maybe going to an office that I want to walk to, then I want to optimize for living smaller but living better. And I would live in Brickell, because the average age in Brickell is like 32. You're going to meet somebody in Brickell. You're in the energy, you're in the lifestyle. It feels like it has a pulse. Very walkable, and it also can be very crowded at times. But if that's what you're looking for, if you want to be in the gym that has everybody looking, if you want to be walking from one bar to the next, bar hopping throughout town, then it's Brickell. It also doesn't hurt that it's the financial epicenter of Miami. Plenty of places to work as well. Now, if you're buying a condo here, you have to think about reserves, milestone inspections, what's the assessment exposure, and is the HOA going up or is it going down? It's really important. In 2026, condo purchases are document driven. They are not finish driven. And it's important to know this in Brickell in my next suggestion, which is downtown. Downtown is real city energy. Downtown, I would say, is about 5 years away from being amazing with the signature bridge, with the underground parks, with Miami World Center really coming into its fullness, and it's a really central location. So if you're looking for that urban living, that go, but with parks and lifestyle, it's definitely downtown. So it's not ideal for everybody if you're trying to escape the noise and the density. Your Miami happiness is usually a 10-minute radius decision. What does that mean? In that 10-minute radius of where you want to be, you have to be centrally located. Now, if I were raising a family, completely different filter. I want something optimized for stability and predictable day-to-day, not Instagram aesthetics, and schools are very important. So is safety and walkability. And what my favorite neighborhood for this? I'd say it's Coconut Grove. Coconut Grove, it just feels like a real neighborhood. And it doesn't hurt that every road is lined with trees and a canopy. There's parks, you're right by the water, and it's high ground. And it's close to the city core. It is literally where the I-95 ends, make a left. It's right close to Brickell, it's close to everything, and it's one of the easiest places to feel grounded in Miami. Next up is Coral Gables, a little bit further west, but Coral Gables is structured living. It is beautiful. Established in 1925, it's like walking through a Spanish soap opera. You have the tree-lined streets, 100-plus-year-old trees, beautiful canopy, amazing architecture. It's pride of ownership. It's long-term demand, consistency. It is one of the most beautiful places to live with amazing schools and a great place to raise a family. But flood is going to vary block by block. We need to know where is your property and what that means for you in terms of insurance. And because the homes are older, we want to consider the renovation cost as well. So for families, I would choose slightly less flashy and more functional. Miami becomes easy when daily logistics are easy. So where is the kids' school? Where are you working? All of this is really important. Coral Gables, a little further west. Coconut Grove, a little further east. Both amazing for families. If I was retiring or downsizing, completely different lens. My goal here would be simple. Less maintenance, more clarity, fewer surprises. And typically what we see is people move from a home into a condo or a smaller home. And they stay in the Grove, they stay in Coral Gables, or they move to Miami Beach. Why? Because it's walkable, because of the calm energy. And if you're on the beach, you have that ocean breeze and the lifestyle. So if you're downsizing into a condo, one of the things that I would think about is the recertifications, the reserve funding, any upcoming assessments, and what does the insurance structure look like? It's really important that we think about all of these things and take a look under the hood for every building. Downsizing should reduce stress, not increase it. Now, what areas am I watching for in 2026? Well, the areas that I think are just on the cusp of blowing up are North Miami and Little River. And I say this because of the amount of investment that is happening in both of these areas. Both of them happen to be above ground and not a flood risk. North Miami, I still believe to be the best price per square foot that you're going to find in Miami that still keeps you close to the beach, and you can get a single family home on a humongous lot. And Little River has billions and billions of international money being invested into that neighborhood to create a completely different neighborhood, city-fied. They're building high rises there. There's a restaurant district. There's so much going on. And I'd say that if you were to be in either of those two areas, that is going to be a recipe for success in the future. It's really important that we consider all of these things before making a decision about where you're going to live in Miami. So if you're moving to Miami in 2026 and you want a clear neighborhood game plan based on your lifestyle, your monthly comfort, and your risk exposure, then reach out. The link is in the description, and we can map out the right areas for you. I'm Milton Andrade, and I help buyers make smart Miami decisions across Coconut Grove, Coral Gables, Shenandoah, Silver Bluff, The Roads, Brickell, Downtown, Edgewater, and Morningside Park, all with a direct focus on the true cost of ownership of what matters in your specific pocket and price point.